Hello everybody, what is up and welcome to my top 10 games of 2013. Now 2013 brought a lot of fantastic games and keep in mind I wasn't able to play every single one because I didn't want my wallet to burn into a crisp because this year, as you know, a lot of games came out. So don't forget that these are my top 10 games. Like, even if Call of Duty Ghosts was a fantastic game to like reviewers or something, if someone like me didn't play it yet, then it's not going to be on my list, sorry. But I mean, these are my top 10. They're well-known games. Maybe there will be one you don't agree with, but then keep in mind these are my top 10 3D not 3DS games, sorry. My top 10 games of 2013 and there were a lot of them and yeah, so I think you'll like it, and we'll see how it goes from there, right? So, let's go. So, number 10 on the top 10 games of 2013 goes to Injustice Gods Among Us. Now, this game was a 2D fighting game, and it was really good. The thing about this game is that it took DC characters to a sort of violent level, because it's the guys who made the new Mortal Kombat. They made it, and they made it really epic. Like, these special attacks were so cool. The fact that you could use the environment to your advantage, that made it more like, it made it feel like a DC, like a real like superhero fight, where it's a lot of times in movies and stuff where they grab items around them and like hit people or throw them to another area. This game made you feel that, so it made you feel like you were more part of the fight, and it was just really epic. I played with my friends for hours. The story is okay. I mean, there's not a lot of reason to go back to the game unless you like doing like little missions and stuff, but I mean, it was fun while we were playing, and I still do play with my friends. It's just so epic. It's really cool. The characters are awesome, and the game is just really good as a fighting game. So that's why Injustice Gods Among Us gets spot number 10 on my top 10 games of 2013. Number 9 on the top 10 games of 2013. Now, for this I'm gonna cheat a bit because it's sort of two games. Now, some of you might think that's weird, but it's gonna go to two. It's gonna go to Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix and Fire Emblem Awakening. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of people get annoyed when a remake is included in top 10 lists because they're really not like new games. So that's why I sort of put it with Fire Emblem Awakening, because Fire Emblem Awakening is a new game and Kingdom Hearts 1.5 is just a remix. So the reason these two are number 9. So HD 1.5 remakes of Kingdom Hearts is really great. It brings back the old game in great new like graphics. It's like they rebuilt the whole game. It's still the beautiful experience you remember. If you have not played the series, you should buy it. In fact, it was so successful they're gonna make 2.5, which I'm very excited for. It comes with 358 2 days, which is all the cutscenes together. It's really a magnificent story. And Chain of Memories, which is an okay game. It's okay, but the first game is really the highlight. And as for Fire Emblem Awakening, that is a fantastic game. It's really just something special. Fire Emblem, it has great combat, a great story, and the turn-based gameplay is amazing. It's truly one of the greatest like 3DS games, and one of my favorite games of all time, because there's so much replay value, there's so much enjoyment, there's so much strategy. It just makes you feel smart. You just feel like you want to keep going through and through, and you want more. And this game just delivers on everything that an RPG fan wants. Even if it's turn-based, it's really awesome. The sprites are cool, and yeah, that's why Fire Emblem is there too. So that is my number 9 of those two games-ish. Now, number 8 on the top 10 games is Tomb Raider. Now, the new Tomb Raider that was remade this year was something really, really good. It's nothing anyone expected because the first games are really just different. This one is basically a reboot of the series because they're remaking the whole series, and it really delivered. Now, it had such a great ambiance. It was freaky. It had sort of the gameplay of like Last of Us and Uncharted. Really, not really Last of Us, but I mean, like, yeah, sort of Last of Us. How there's the bow and arrow, like from Ellie. I don't know. It reminds me of an older version of Ellie, and it really brought like the adventure style of Uncharted. But it was really something unique, and it was so cool. Like the cinematic sort of gameplay where like you tap buttons and like go through the level, or like when you're falling down a huge water path and you're dodging obstacles, or like and how you feel Lara struggling through what's going on because she's trapped on this island. There's dark moments, there's wolves that actually creep me out the most, and it's just something you have to experience. It's a fantastic reboot. You guys should really play this game. The story gets a little weird at the end of it, but I mean, in general, the gameplay is really great. It makes up for it. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of replay value. It's a big island. It's an open world island, and it's really something great. So that's why Tomb Raider gets spot number 8 on the top 10 games. Number 7 on the top 10 games of 2013 is going to Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Now, this was so longly awaited. They announced it in January or February, if I remember, and it came out all the way in October. So they set a bar from the beginning of the year to bring us this amazing experience, and I'm perfectly glad to say it delivered. It was the first real Pokemon game that was in 3D, like, because the other 3D ones were basically like spin-offs, but this is the first 3D adventure Pokemon game, and it worked. Sure, the 3D on the 3DS wasn't on the overworld, but it was on in battles, and every sprite is detailed, every Pokemon's detailed. It feels so good to see these Pokemon come back to life in this new fledged world. You can customize your character, which makes yourself feel unique. The world is fantastic, and the Generation 6 Pokemon, like, some of them are very memorable, like some of my favorites. Some are okay. I didn't like the frame rate drop on the 3DS. Maybe it's because I have the regular size. Maybe if I had the XL, it would be less frame rate dropping when I keep the 3D on. But in other news, it was such a fantastic game. The battles are great. Everything you do is great. There's not much replay value at the end of it, unless you're one of those guys that wants to breed and get all your Pokemon to level 100, etc. But like, for like someone that's just going through the game and the notions and everything, it was really such a great game. So that's why Pokemon X and Y gets a very nice number 7 spot on the top 10 games of 2013. Number 6 is going to another fighting game, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3. Now this game, a lot of people, maybe some people aren't into anime or this show, but this game is something to remember. It makes those old Dragon Ball Z games feel crappy because the gameplay when you're fighting, you feel like it's in the show when they actually are fighting, because the game makes you feel empowered with the big attacks you pull off, the combos and everything, and the battle system is simple, like triangle, circle, R2, L1. You know, they try to keep it simple, and it really works, and it makes you feel so overpowered, even though you're really not, but that's the fun of it. And the amount of characters there are, and there's a lot of fan service. Like, I'm a fan of the series. It delivers. It's such a, and the game looks beautiful. They even released the DLC for it to make it even look better, and I'm looking forward to next gen versions of it. And it's just a great fighting game. Like, me and my friends have played this for hours. It's so good. It's a 3D environment. It makes you feel amazing. You feel like you are these characters, and you feel boss and everything, and there's rankings, online, etc. It's just a really fantastic fighting game you should not miss out on. So that's that for Ninja Storm 3. Number 5 on the list goes to Rayman Legends. Now this was really long awaited since it was delayed for almost half a year. And it was well worth the wait because they added so much. There are so many levels. Let's talk about the art style, for example. The art style of the game is fantastic. It's all drawn. It's amazing. It's beautiful, and the gameplay is great. Like, in a modern age where the only great 2D platformers we get are Mario ones, it's great to see that another company can do even better than that, and that's what Ubisoft did with Rayman. They proved that they can do a 2D game that can be better than a new Super Mario Bros. Game. And the level of creativity and quirkiness of the levels, like, you'll see some funny enemies that just chase you around a level making funny sounds. The bosses are entertaining too. The levels where you like go through the music and hit stuff with the beat of the song, etc. It's really something unique, and everyone that loves platformers really should give this game a go, because it is really something fantastic that you do have to play. There's so much replay value. There's so much things you can do. And on the Wii U version, there's 5-player multiplayer, so 5 people can be playing on the screen. It's crazy, but it works, and it's fantastic, and punching your friends around is funny, and it just works, and it is such a fun, amazing experience. So Rayman Legends, you go. Number 4 on the list is gonna go to The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Now, this game didn't redefine the Zelda series, but it re-brought something magical. It re-brought Link to the Past's world. And Link to the Past is known as one of people's favorite Zelda games of all time. And this game just took basically that game, made it look better, brought some amazing new gameplay elements. The fact that you can go to any dungeon in any order is the best thing they've ever done in the Zelda series. It's something they should keep doing, because it works. It makes you feel like when you're talking to your friends about it, they'll be like, they went there, but you went there to another place first, and it brings a lot of different gameplay to it, and you can rent any item you want. It makes you feel like this is your world, go do what you want. The top-down style of the game works extremely well. It goes through 60 frames per second. It's one of the greatest looking 3DS games. It plays amazingly. The story is not the best, but anyways, who judges really a Nintendo game by its story? But it's a nice story. It has a nice plot twist and stuff. It's fun. And yeah, Link Between Worlds is really something fantastic. Any Zelda fan in the world should play it. You should get, like, if you get a 3DS, this is the first thing you should get. I'm planning on getting the gold 3DS with it, 3DS XL, since my first 3DS is kind of getting a little old. So yeah, that is why Link Between Worlds gets spot number 4 on this list. Alrighty, so number 3 on the list goes to Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, this game, like, it didn't change the GTA series either. It basically redefined it. Now, this game has been extremely longly awaited, and it was worth it. The three-player cast works well, like the fact that you can use 3 different people, Franklin, Michael, and Trevor. They all have their unique thing, like, Michael's the rich guy going through a messed up family, Trevor's like the hillbilly who lives on like some ranch somewhere and he's psychotic. Franklin's like, you know, the common black gangster that they try to do always in GTA, and it's fantastic. Like, I love the story in the game. Never was I really intrigued with a GTA story, because my first reaction is, alright, go chase, shoot now. But this game really made me feel for the characters. Like, my favorite is definitely Michael. He holds a deeper story, and it's just nicer to me. And Trevor's psychoticness. And the missions they send you on in the game are so different than other GTA games. Like, you'll be in some areas where you're diving in a submarine, going through underwater places, you're gonna go through jets, you're gonna be blowing up other planes, you're gonna be going on a crane, doing crazy shit. It just brings a lot of different play styles that other GTA games didn't touch. The heists are so crazy what you do. There's heists where you're on motorboats going through water, and the world looks beautiful. Like the city Los Santos, which is basically like Los Angeles or something, and it really works. It looks beautiful. The world, it's huge. There's a plethora of things you can do after the credits roll. Like, this is a game you can play for years and years until the next GTA game comes out, and you'll still have fun with it. Shooting people around is still fun, driving around, customizing your car, you can fly, etc. There's so much you can do in the game, and it's such a fantastic experience. So that's why GTA gets spot number 3.
Hop in at any moment and find out what your new friends have been up to as they go about their days.
Number 2 is going to Super Mario 3D World. Now, Super Mario 3D World is the newest 3D Mario title, not on 3DS, on Wii U, and it extremely delivered. Now this game, it's the first 3D Mario game, adventure game, to have 4-player multiplayer. Now this brought chaoticness. I was playing with my friends. It's funny, you yell at each other, you fight to get the crown. They made a crown system where, like, basically whoever gets the most points gets a crown, and that makes you a target in each level. Now each level of the game brings a new concept. Like, the game constantly refreshes creativity. It reminds you that Nintendo will never be fresh out of ideas. The sheer amount of levels and creativity. There's levels where you're gonna be on a Goomba's skating shoe. There's levels where you're gonna be walking on invisible floors that can only be visible if you ground pound. There's levels where you're utilizing the cat suit, which is hilarious and amazing and adorable. And it's crazy that when you play with your friends, you don't feel like it's crappy. You just feel like it's fun and crazier. And it's just an amazing 3D Mario game. It's an amazing Mario game. It's one of my favorites of all time. It really reminds you that the Mario series is still fantastic. It's not going anywhere. It's not falling short on ideas. And this one will be remembered as one of the best because the amount of, like, the beautifulness of every level. Like, each level has a distinct beauty. The oceans, the level design, the bosses are amazing. It is just a fantastic Mario game and it's a fantastic platform. No one can play this game and not smile. I have a friend of mine that barely plays video games. When he played it, he was laughing and enjoying it, and getting all the stars is rewarding because you get more levels and more. It's really rewarding. There's so much to do. And Super Mario 3D World is definitely a fantastic experience no one has to miss. So that's why it gets my number 2 spot. Now, the number 1 spot is going to something you probably all expected, but not because of why any review site would tell you so, but this is my point of view. Number 1 goes to The Last of Us. Now, this game set a tone for gaming. This game reminded you that even if this is a video game, you can feel for the characters. This is not just a game. This is an experience. The story of Joel and Ellie going through this crazy world to get her cured because she has something magical in her. And there's a lot more to the story I don't want to spoil and ruin for people. This game is just fantastic. This is one of the greatest stories ever, and this is one of the greatest video games of all time. The gameplay is amazing. In a time and age where a lot of people are reusing the zombie formula, this game just reminds you that even if Naughty Dog takes it, it's a fantastic experience. The infected are creepy. You go through dark areas where you feel like, holy shit, you are in trouble. The voice acting is fantastic. There's so many emotional moments. There's moments I almost want to cry in the game. It is really something special. It's a PlayStation exclusive. You have to play this game. I would buy a PlayStation for this, and like, there's no one that you cannot not love this story. It sets a tone from the start and ends with a fantastic finish. That's it. That's the close. It's not you that has to choose your destiny of the story. This is Naughty Dog's tale. You are playing through it, and it is a fantastic tale. It is not just Uncharted they're good at making. It's not just Crash Bandicoot they're good at making. The Last of Us is their best IP, and if they're releasing sequels and other stuff in the future, I'm hoping it'll be as fantastic as this, because this is a fantastic experience. The Last of Us was the greatest game of 2013, and it'll be classified as one of the greatest games of all time. Like, in the future, in past, like right now, when people talk to us, they're like, oh, Mario 64, all those older games, they're some of the greatest of all time. No. And in the future, we're gonna be like, The Last of Us is that fantastic game that our generation got that will never be forgotten. So that's why Last of Us gets the number 1 spot.
What are you so afraid of?
You're treading on some mighty thin ice here.
So yeah, that wraps up the top 10 games of 2013 for me. Now, I want you guys in the comments to tell me what you thought. If you didn't agree, it's okay. It's my list. You guys have your own list. You could totally not agree with me, I'll concede with you. I'll reply to you in the comments. It doesn't matter. But I did my best to play. I played these games a lot, and I knew what I was saying. And I played a lot more games. There's a few runner-ups I was gonna put. I was gonna put Ni no Kuni definitely in there but I had not played far enough. I'm not done with it to put it on the list yet. BioShock Infinite I have yet to play. Like I really want to. I have yet to play it. Assassin's Creed 4 I really want to play it. Didn't get a chance to. There's what else did I want to put? There was I don't even know. There's a lot more. There's Pikmin 3 and Wind Waker HD, but as again, I didn't want to put Wind Waker HD because it was a remake. And Pikmin 3, I wasn't done with it, so I can't judge until I'm really done with the game. And yeah, so it is really something special. All these games from 2013, the great thing about them is that they will be known as some of my favorites of all time. So that's that. So thank you all for watching. If you want me to do any more top 10s, I'll be glad to, but these are the top 10 of 2013, alright? So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.